Hey Virgo, this reading today is for all of my single Virgos out there, and we're going to see what could be coming towards you in love within the next week. So this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Please keep in mind, Virgo, it is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate, and I always invite you on my channel to take what works and leave the rest. Just a quick reminder, if you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through Etsy. The link is in the description box below the video. So we're going to jump right into it today, Virgo, and we're going to see what could be coming toward you in love this week. First message coming out for Virgo says, Four of Swords. Okay, so I am getting a little bit of a vibe here right away, Virgo, of maybe some of you being in a little bit of a limbo. Maybe you're on a break with somebody, maybe you're broken up with somebody, but I definitely get the energy of being on a break. Let's see where it goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo this week. The Hierophant. Interesting. Okay. So the energy today is going to be kind of specific. I feel for those of you connecting with it, it's kind of like you're in this weird space right now. You might not be together with your person because you guys are taking some time apart to figure out what you want, but it also doesn't feel like it's over, okay? The Hierophant is a card of commitment and stability. And I feel like maybe what happened between the two of you is that there were some differences in terms of what you wanted in the future. Like I'm picking up on a couple that kept arguing about the timeline of getting married, for example. So maybe through conversations and through arguments, it started to become apparent that you and your person were not on the same page. Now, I do think that this has led to a potential separation. I do think that you're maybe taking some space, taking a break, or currently not together with them. And it's almost like you're trying to figure out what you guys want. I don't think it's completely over, but I also think you're not together right now. Tell me more, please, about what could be coming toward Virgo, King of Cups. Okay, but here's the thing, you guys. It looks like there is still a lot of love between the two of you. So this is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So this is interesting because I feel like the energy this week, it's like you're single, but not really. That's the vibe I'm getting, right? It's like you're not with your person, but like it's not over, okay? And I feel there's a lot of love between the two of you with that King of Cups. And that makes sense because if it's not over, it's like obviously you guys are still in love, right? But I also think you're in a bit of a pickle here because the Four of Swords is definitely suggesting that something has happened to cause you guys to not be together. So this is when somebody like says, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of single. You know, it's like you don't feel like you're single, but you technically are, but you also feel like you're still wrapped up in the relationship. That's the kind of vibe. So here's what I want to do for the rest of the reading. I want to look at this connection to kind of see, is there the potential to come together? Like, are you guys coming back together? Is this the person you're going to be with? Does the energy suggest moving forward, moving on past this connection? Let's just see what comes out when we look at them and when we look at you, Virgo. So we're going to look at their overall energy, what they could be feeling this week, what actions they could be taking. I will look at the same thing for you, and then we'll look at the potential outcome. So let's just kind of dig into it. Tell me about this person who Virgo is involved with, please. First card coming out is the Eight of Swords. I think they're very stressed out about what's been going on between the two of you. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of anxiety coming through with that Eight of Swords. And so, like I said, I think if you're watching this reading, it's like you're single, you know, you're not with them, but like, I think both of you are still very strongly connected to each other. And with the Eight of Swords, I think your person's really struggling, Virgo. I think they're finding it really hard to be without you. Tell me more, please, about this person's energy this week. Oh, we got two cards, the World and the Seven of Wands. Okay. So the World, it's interesting. The World is a card about wrapping up a cycle. And so in a way, I'm like, I think your person is like, can we find a way to move past this? Can we find a way to move forward? But then I also feel like their energy is a little bit stuck as well, because the Seven of Wands is kind of suggesting that they have their walls up, they have their guard up. Maybe they're defensive, like maybe they've been really defensive when the two of you have been having conversations. So it's tough because I feel on the one hand, maybe, you know, they're super stressed and they're like, I want to try to find a way forward. But then on the other hand, I think they're doing things right now that are maybe making it a bit harder for the two of you to communicate. And I get that because we saw the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is very anxious. It's very fearful thinking. And we know, Virgo, when we're in that kind of anxiety, it can be really hard to think straight. And so I almost feel like your person is overcome by emotions a little bit, like the negative emotions. And on the one hand, it's like they might want to try to find a way forward with you. But on the other, they're still doing things that are not particularly constructive when it comes to your connection. Like they might try to talk to you, but then immediately get defensive. You know, they might initiate contact with you, but then immediately shut down. And I think it's because there's a lot of emotions swirling around. So you're probably seeing a little bit of like weirdness and inconsistency in their behavior. I'm getting the message that they're really being driven by their emotions, but like those negative emotions where we get anxious and unsure, and then we don't really act like our best selves. Let's see what they could be feeling this week, please. Four of Cups, yeah. They're definitely pulling back their energy, Virgo. You're probably going to be feeling this. I mean, I don't think it's going to be surprising. I literally said with the Four of Swords that you guys are on a break, separated, broken up. So I think your person is definitely pulling back with the Four of Cups. And I don't know, like, I don't know if there's going to be super productive conversations between the two of you this week, if I'm being honest. Because I think your person's energy looks like very emotional and stressed out, and that might not be the best place to try to connect or interact. What else could they be feeling? Ace of Cups, yeah. It's a back and forth energy for your person, okay? It doesn't feel like it's over. I think they love you, Virgo. I think they want to be with you. But then there's a lot of other feelings where maybe they're angry, they're frustrated, they're annoyed, they're disappointed. And so they're kind of going between wanting to connect, wanting to feel that love. I'm getting like they just want to hold you, they just want to hug you, but then they're also hurt as well. So then like they come towards you, but then they pull back. That's what we're seeing with the Four of Cups and the Ace of Cups here, right? So this could be a bit of an interesting week, Virgo, in terms of what you can expect, because I think there could be moments this week where they reach out to you and it feels loving. And then there might be moments where you're just like, you're really feeling them shut down and close you off. Tell me more, please, about what they could be feeling. The Nine of Cups. Okay. So Nine of Cups is interesting. It is a card about wishes being fulfilled and dreams coming true. I almost feel there's a little bit of energy here for the two of you where I'm getting the message like the illusion has been shattered. Maybe you guys were living, I don't know why I'm getting this message, but maybe you guys were living in a little bit of like a love bubble, right? Like it's all well and good when everything's going well, but then it's like something came and like popped the bubble, you know? Maybe there was something externally that happened or something between the two of you that led to a big fight. Like something happened that introduced a challenge into your relationship. And now it's kind of like both of you have to let go of this perfect image that you have, right? Like the Nine of Cups sometimes can be the energy of, you know, looking for that perfect relationship, but then realizing like, oh, my relationship isn't perfect. We've got some problems, but what do we do with it? So I think that maybe you guys are seeing things in a different light because of some sort of challenge that you've gone through recently. Let's see what actions they could be taking this week, Virgo. Six of Pentacles, okay? This to me suggests trying to bring things back into balance, maybe putting some effort in. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking. The High Priestess. I definitely think that they are trying to connect with their intuition to figure out what it is that they want to do here. I do think there is a strong bond. I do see that, Virgo. And I think that's what's causing the two of you to hold on. And I think that's why it doesn't feel like it's over, even though you might not be together right now. There's something with that High Priestess to indicate there's still that connection there between the two of you. Even though things are rocky, that connection hasn't just disappeared. Tell me more, please, about what actions they could be taking this week. Okay. I mean, holy smokes, you guys. Okay, so the Death card is about an ending that leads to a new beginning. That's actually very, very big energy. I think I'm going to clarify it actually because it's kind of suggesting one of two things. The first thing it could be suggesting is that your person is like, let's leave the past in the past and let's have a fresh start, right? So it could be an ending to this rocky patch within your relationship where you decide to come back together and reconcile and be together. The other thing, the other way that it could go is that your person is like, you know what, Virgo, we've been in this limbo and enough is enough. Like, let's just, cut our losses. Let's move forward separately and let's not be together. Like, there's something here where I could see your person being like, I'm so stressed out. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, that's it. We're done. We're like done and it's final. I could see them doing something like that as well. I'm going to clarify the Death card. Give me 3 cards to clarify the Death card, please. 6 of Swords. We'll get 2 more. Please clarify this Death card for me. Judgment card. Let's get 1 more card, please, to clarify. And then the Ace of Wands. Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. I think your person is really looking at this from the perspective of, do we have long-term compatibility and can we bring the spark back into the relationship? It's very clear to me that things cannot continue to move forward the way that they are between the 2 of you. If you guys are going to give it a chance, I think your person is approaching it from this perspective. They are really, really looking at it, Virgo, and being like, are we compatible? That's what I'm getting with the Judgment card. Now, I will say Judgment can be about forgiveness and second chances. So I do feel like, I think your person is willing to give this a chance, but like, they're going to really think through if it makes sense to do that. And I think what they're going to be looking at is that Judgment energy, which, like I said, is about, do I see a future? Do I feel like we have that alignment in terms of our core values? Do I think we can get that spark back? So I think your person's energy is interesting. Like I said, it feels a bit emotionally messy. I'm just going to say, Virgo, like, I don't know if this is the week to push your person to make a decision. Because I feel like if you kind of push them to make a decision in the moment, like if you guys are separated, but then you're like texting them and trying to figure out what's going on, just be aware that I think there's a lot of emotions floating around. My sense here is if they get too emotionally overwhelmed, they might just shut it down completely. So if you don't want that to happen, you might have to give this some space. I'm just giving you a little advice here based on what I'm seeing, based on your person's energy. Like, if you're watching this and you're like hoping that the 2 of you could work it out, I'm just saying, like, your person's energy seems super reactive this week. And it's like, have you ever had this happen where it's like you push for an answer and then you don't get the answer you want because you kind of rushed somebody? That might happen with your person if they feel like they're rushed or if they're backed into a corner. Because I think they're sorting through their feelings, but they feel emotionally raw this week, like quite emotionally raw. And it might not be the best place for them to make a decision. And if they feel forced into making a decision, the decision might be that they just completely cut it off. You can let me know if that connects. Let's look at you. Tell me about Virgo's energy this week. 10 of Cups. Okay. You're obviously still dreaming of happily ever after with this person, right? Tell me more, please, about Virgo's energy, the Fool. Okay. You are hoping for a fresh start. I think you are hoping that you guys can get back together and turn this around. Tell me more, please. And then the Queen of Wands. I think you're confident in the connection. Your energy, I gotta say, Virgo, is definitely coming through a lot more stable than your person, okay? Like when we looked at your person's overall energy, we had 8 of Swords and 7 of Wands. Tricky little energy there. But with you, your energy feels like a lot more clear, Virgo. So I feel like, again, you might have clarity this week, right? And maybe that's why you're feeling like maybe you want to go in and you want to talk to them. Your person's energy does not look as clear as yours. And that's why I'm saying, like, from a strategic standpoint, if you're hoping for an outcome that results in the 2 of you coming back together, I think you might have to really maybe stay in this 4 of Swords and kind of honor your person's need for space, because it looks like they're sorting things out. You're farther ahead. I think you figured out what you want. They're still quite emotional, right? Tell me more. What could Virgo be feeling? 3 of Cups. I think you could be going to your friends for advice, you know. Lean on your support system. If you got to talk to somebody and this person needs space, instead of like, trying to talk to them when they're not ready, talk to other people who love you and care for you. Talk to your friends. Hopefully they can support you. Tell me more. Okay, what is this? The Magician. All right. So the Magician is about manifestation. It's creation. I do feel 2 things. I do feel that you're hoping the 2 of you can have a future that you can co-create together. I want to point out, you guys, remember your person had the 9 of Cups in their feelings. You have the Magician. I'm feeling a little bit of energy here for both of you of illusion. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because I feel like there's a little bit of a risk here that both you and your person are not quite seeing something clearly about the situation. And again, I feel like maybe there's more to be revealed. Maybe there's more to be talked about. And so until all of that has happened, I don't know that this is the week to make a decision. There might be something that still needs to be sorted out, something that still needs to become clear that is currently not clear. Tell me what else Virgo could be feeling. The King of Pentacles, okay? I mean, this is you. I've already said your energy is coming across much more stable and grounded this week. So I think this is you in your, King of Pentacles energy. Don't worry about the gender, but this is like a very mature energy. I really do think that your energy looks like you want a chance with this person, and you're very clear that you want that chance. So like I said, you're like ready to go for it. It doesn't look necessarily like your person is ready yet. Not to say they won't get there, right? We're just looking at the energy for this week. Tell me what actions Virgo could be taking. Okay. I gotta laugh, you guys. So 7 of Pentacles, you know what this is? You're gonna hate me. You're like, I don't like this. But you know what it is, Virgo? Patience, right? My grandmother used to always say this to me, patience is a virtue, right? She said this to me all the time. And it's like, it really is. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is actually slow down and not push a situation before it's ready, And it can be so hard to do, especially when you love somebody and especially when emotions are involved. But literally, you guys, sometimes it is the best thing you can do is just have patience and let the situation breathe. Because if you're trying to force something to happen before your person is ready, like I said, I just feel like forcing the issue this week is not going to get you the outcome you want. And I feel that's why the 7 of Pentacles is like you recognizing, okay, maybe I got to be a little patient. Tell me more. 2 of Swords, okay? So yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I'm getting you going into problem-solving mode because the 2 of Swords is showing that you guys are at a crossroads, right? Things are not really moving forward. And it's kind of like you're trying to go in there and you're trying to clear things up and you're trying to get unstuck, but there might need to be a little bit more time, right? You need to I feel like the 2 of Swords in your actions is kind of suggesting don't take action because the 2 of Swords is not an action-oriented card. In fact, I often say to me, it's the procrastinator card of the tarot. I feel like this is in a funny way saying, maybe this is not the week to take big action. It's probably going to feel uncomfortable because the 2 of you are continuing to sit at a crossroads in your relationship. But the pause can be intentional, right? And I say this to people too sometimes when I do like private readings where I'm like, the tarot is showing me like sit in the pause. That might actually be what you guys need to move together in the future, but right now that pause is necessary. Let's get one more card about what actions Virgo could be taking. The Moon, okay. Yeah, so the Moon represents things that are hidden. It's our fears, it's our anxieties, our insecurities. I feel like there is a lot going on for you. I almost feel like maybe you need to acknowledge your emotions this week as well. Virgo, I feel like you're almost ready to jump back in with this person, with the Fool. But like I said, with the Magician, it's kind of like, make sure you're seeing everything clearly, right? Make sure you're not brushing past the issues. Make sure you're not, pretending everything's okay. There's something here that has caused you guys to have a separation or a break. We know you love each other. We know there's a strong connection, but something has ruptured the relationship. And I almost feel like there's a little bit of a tendency for you, Virgo, to maybe be brushing past it. But it's like, you've really got to be honest with yourself. Because the Moon is another card that's kind of saying, not everything might be clear to you this week, right? Do we want to take action when we're not clear? I don't think so. So I don't know. I feel like this reading is more like a message for you where it's like, look, not everything's going to be clear this week. Things are still kind of happening below the scenes. And maybe you just got to be patient until there's more information and more clarity before figuring out what you guys are going to do here. So moment of truth, Virgo. Let's see what the potential outcome is here. 3 of Wands. That's good. I mean, 3 of Wands is building a future, like looking out together. Ooh, 8 of Cups. maybe. Seven of Cups. Ooh, okay. I got a little excited with the Three of Wands, but then I feel like the tarot is like, did you forget the whole reading? Like, don't forget that. So here's what I'm going to say, Virgo. I feel like the outcome is saying kind of what we've been saying the whole reading. And I feel like the outcome is reinforcing the message. So let's break it down. The Three of Wands is you, like, thinking ahead to a future with this person. We already talked about that. But there's still a lack of clarity. Like, that is literally what the Seven of Cups is. We talk about this card all the time, Virgo, and I'm like, this is a card of confusion, you know, illusions, not having all the information. And so I just feel like it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a weird reading for you guys this week, but I think the main message is like, if you're in separation with somebody and you're hoping to get back together, there is a lot that still seems to be unclear this week, okay? Not everything has been revealed. Not everything has been talked about. Your person looks super emotional. They might need some space to continue to work things out. And I feel like this is significant, you guys. If you try to move forward, making decisions when you're still in the midst of the confusion, it might end up not working out because the Eight of Cups is like walking away. And it's funny because that's what I was saying with your person's energy, where I was like, if you push them too far too fast, they might just be out the door forever, you know? And so the tarot, as far as I can see, is really encouraging patience this week. I get it, you guys. It's not easy, like I said, when you love somebody and you want to be with them. But I think that this is the week where maybe both of you need to kind of be going internally and doing work on yourselves, because even though it might not look like a lot is happening on the surface, the stuff that's going on below the surface could be getting you to a place where you could reconcile. I don't see that in the energy this week, but it might be that this is the week where that underlying internal stuff needs to be happening so that if you guys do reconnect, you're coming at it from a place of growth and maturity, right? So it's like being able to kind of respect the pause and trusting that the pause is necessary. Anyway, that's what I see for you guys. Let me know if it connects. Let me know if it resonates. If you enjoyed this reading, you guys know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. If you'd like to get a personal reading, I offer those through Etsy, and the link is in the description box below the video. I wish you guys love, I wish you happiness, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.